thanks everyone for joining. Like I said, we're going to be talking today, or Marco is going to be talking today about a highly relevant topic. And based on the number of people who registered, it seems to be that it's really also relevant and current for you guys as well. It's something that we've been talking about quite a bit internally, or Marco and some other people have been working on, and so really excited to share kind of our thoughts and give you kind of a state of the union on what we think is happening in 2023 and what's coming kind of in the pipeline. So a couple of words just about Genero, if you're not familiar with us. We are one of the leading growth agencies in the Nordics with roughly 125 employees, offices in Finland and Sweden. And so obviously as a growth agency, analytics, tracking, all those things are highly relevant to our clients. So it's something that we invest quite a bit in tools and also in understanding what's happening to be able to help our clients track and understand their data as well as possible. So today's presentation is going to be held by my colleague Marco, who will introduce himself in just a minute. A couple of things to note. Number one is there's going to be a recording of this webinar that's going to be sent to you automatically after. So you'll get a link, and it's going to take a while for the actual recording to be uploaded to the link. But you can go ahead and share. You can go ahead and share that with colleagues or whoever you want to share it with. And number two, Marco is going to talk for roughly 40 minutes, and after that, we're going to have time for some Q&A. So if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to write them in the chat, or you can just ask them later on. So there'll be plenty of time to answer any questions that you may have. So that's it from my side. So and just without further ado, give it over to you, Marco.
Great. Good to have you so many here in this session with me. I'm Marco Nykänen, and I work as a lead growth strategist in Genero. I've been doing analytics for close to 10 years, and my background is also in marketing and strategy work. But analytics is one main part of my job and my role in here in Genero. Good. So today we'll cover the analytics stack 2023 and the world after the universal analytics. And yeah, let's move on. So the 2023 is a big year for analytics. As we see in the news, there's many things buzzing up in the analytics sector. We have regulation, privacy concerns, GA4 coming up after universal analytics. We see a cookie turnaround after sunsetting third-party cookies. New limitations on API and analytics software. New analytics software coming up as an alternative to Google. Coming to cookieless tracking. Probably seeing more tools that we have to pay something for. The end of free tools and of course also the proficiency of analytics. We see that if there's not before, then it's will multiply and diversify in the coming years. The need for diversified talent and proficiency in analytics sector, and of course connected to privacy, increased regulation is about owning your own data. How you share it within your organization. Is it decentralized, centralized way? And you're having probably you need a more complex tool set to tackle all the analytics issues and kind of future-proof yourself with more complex tool set. Great. So we could say that the year 2023, if not 2021, when it started, could be a kind of watershed moment of web analytics as we know it. It will change a lot. We know it by far, but how it will change, it's not all clear. But we could have some guesses how to shape up our analytics stack, what things we should consider, how we should kind of see the future, what things we should consider in the future, now and in the future. So I approached this analytics problem of analytics from 5 sides in this session. We have first the platform. Well, we have Google, known for all, Google Analytics, Universal Analytics, and now it's GA4, Google Analytics 4, and our alternatives for Google. Let's see that first. Then we'll discuss on whether it's privacy or data first. What we should consider there? What is our stance? Then coming to organization, whether and also the use of analytics tools, whether is our data siloed, or do we syndicate it? Do we have data hub and competencies to share it across the organization? This question varies very much based on the resources and organization size. And then the actual approach to analytics. Is it the maximalist? We want to track everything, or just the essentials? This links very well also to the resources available on analytics side in your organization. Good. So well, is a web analytics just a happy marriage with Google? Well, yeah, it's been a marriage. I'm not sure if it's been all happy, but as we've seen in years and years, for 15 years, that Universal Analytics has standed mostly as it is today. It's been all Google Analytics. Of course, there are some bigger company solutions that we see. Also, the cookieless tracking is coming up fast, but still, the situation here in Finland is in terms of share of search, we see that Google is still capping 90% of all searches, comparing to the main competitors. So based on this, the Google is still the place to go for web analytics. It's been, but we also could see that Matomo, probably the most prominent of the competitors, is coming up. This is the situation in Finland. I also checked the other Nordics. It's quite similar, but I believe that we'll see kind of flood of the alternatives, and it's a kind of after the sunset of Universal Analytics, we are really moving to diversified analytics platforms, and also to see also the other possibilities on building your analytics. I take first, probably most of you know or have already moved to GA4, but just to recap on what are the main pros and cons with GA. Let's start with pros. It's of course it's more advanced. It's a kind of this cyclical evolution of analytics software. The previous big update was 10 years ago, 2013 or 14, and now it's the next version, GA4. And of course, we got a whole new set of possibilities to track different things, starting from multi-platform tracking. We could here with GA4 track apps and websites together, as it was siloed in Universal Analytics. We got better data structure. We have event-based tracking in GA, where it was more session-based in Universal Analytics. And of course, we got way better overall controls over data privacy. As the property owner could change and pick the data, what he or she shares with other services. Then coming up to having the possibility to process the data, Google offers BigQuery support for all properties. This is kind of nod to the owning your own data from Google, and also a gentle way forward for them to promote their own services. And of course, Google also promotes its machine learning and AI possibilities with the features with the GA4. But the main obstacles with GA4 is that it's still missing the European GDPR compliance, as it's not allowing the data storage and processing within EU. We come to this question later on and cover it with more detail. Then those of you who've worked with the analytics and probably with more bigger properties, you've seen this API quota limit, as Google kind of offers the possibility to own your own data, process it within cloud services they provide. It's same time it makes these limitations on API on data you could pull out from GA. And if you're having a big property, it's really hard to build a Looker Studio dashboards same way as you used to do with the Universal Analytics. Of course, with Universal Analytics, the dashboards could get really slow if you pulled everything on one dashboard, but still, it's a really annoying new feature that came after the release of GA4. To add on this, there are also the big properties are also hit by that data sampling and thresholds to track some small features, new features. It could be really hard to get those hits and events through the user interface and see how those tests work out. And this means that Google is offering data that is only part of the data gathered, and it's also have thresholds for the data that it gives through the user interface. So once again, these are features that kind of make you want to buy the cloud services, BigQuery, to get all the raw data from GA. And to add on this, there's no viable pricing for small to medium-sized companies who are willing to upgrade their analytics to track everything they want. And linked to this is also the discontinued support for linked products like Google Optimize. So it's not be all roses with this upgrade, and as far as I know, it's made many of analytics sector think the alternatives, how to sort out the analytics solutions without Google, without GA4. But still, Google has a strong position in market. It has all the compatibilities. They have whole ecosystem within marketing, and there are numerous possibilities to link up other Google Ads tools with Google platform. And if those are really important to you, then probably you have to stick with Google for now, at least. Or it would be the best suggestion from our side. Well, next to the regulation, it's of course the thing to consider. As we saw in previous years, we've seen this Google Analytics is illegal news from all over Europe, from France to Denmark to Austria to Finland, and also the European all European level, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, I believe. Google is the first of the big tech companies, big unicorns that was probably hit with this GDPR. I think that Google and after Google we'll see Facebook Pixel under investigation, and this is just it's really heating up. But how would you tackle the issue of GDPR and meeting the regulation right now? It's really hard, really hard to tackle it, as we know, all the analytics platforms. Google is a US-based company. Servers are US-based. It doesn't offer EU-based servers, or if it offers, its data still could be processed outside the EU. So to meet the current regulation at the strictest way, it would need to meet following criteria. So first, the data stored within EU, then servers where the data stored should be EU-based companies, and also have servers within EU borders. And then we also don't have possibility to process data outside EU and not sharing data outside EU. So with Google at the moment, it's mostly impossible to tackle the regulation at its strictest. But as far we know, we haven't had any decision or legislative directive on Google whether the data Google collects with analytics is private data that is identifiable to user level. And as far we know, Google doesn't also haven't have any queries from the security officials from US to give them data from EU-based Google Analytics. This is so far. I believe that data isn't that privacy concerned. It could be, some sites could breach the rules, but still in Google's own directives and orders on how to use Google Analytics, it shouldn't be possible to send this private data to Google Analytics. So, but if the need is so that you have to meet the regulations, public organizations are probably in front of this. The self-hosted Google's analytics would be the safest bet but for companies doing working in the private sector, I don't think it's worthwhile yet. Just look forward and think the possible solutions to future-proof yourself. But at the moment, there is it's really hard to meet all the criteria we see here. Then, after tackling the platform and regulation issues within analytics stack, it's also making complex compatible. It's especially within marketing stack you're using, then it gets complicated to have all data in the same place. And now we're not only talking about the analytics software, it's also about ads, e-com, marketing automation, marketplace data, marketing data, visualization data tools, and storage. Yeah, you have all MarTech tools in your stack, and you should somehow syndicate, collect the data, and get kind of the overview on your marketing budget, marketing spend, marketing results, lead generation, what works, what is ROI. It's hard when you have the walled gardens and you have to collect data from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10 different services you use within your marketing stack. Analytics is one part of this complex system, but it shouldn't be a limiter. And to tackle this complexity, we need tools to make it compatible within our visualization and data tools, marketing data, and storage. So building from here, we're moving probably from this world where you kind of missing the resources on collecting data to this world where we have a data hub that connects all the data sources and also data storage, and moves the data to visualization level. And we have different tools for everything, but we prefer at the moment the funnel. That's our choice, but there's of course the different tools that could harmonize, pre-process, give custom metrics and custom dimensions to get the real value on your data. And of course, if you're having a more complex data, for example, on-site retail, you probably need the on-site data also there, and there you could be helped with the CRM platforms, of course, but also moving that data to cloud, process it there, having AI tools, forecasting and data modeling available for your needs. So this is the quadruple or triangle or pyramid you need to make competitive analytics solution for scaling up your potential. And this is of course could be about the resources. You could do the data hub within the Excel or Google Sheets. You could have their automations, but still the faster the better. And if you could use services that does the work for you, automates your workflows, it will help you further with scaling up and saving resources for things that you need to scale up. Then we come to the tracking record of your analytics team. This is the constant issue, whether you have the proficiency needed, whether you have skills needed on your team within your organization, or are we in a moment we need something, we need to buy some skills, some consulting power to help us to get us further on our road and get us scaling up and to the growth we want to reach. Within analytics, I think the more could be less. We have also limited resources, and also we could and should limit the complexity of tracking. And you can see in this 4-field analysis that within big organizations, starting upright, we have probably multiple resources and also more complex set of tracking and analytics. There you have diversified roles, probably have more complex data mining, forecasting people dedicated to certain proficiency, certain job. But it's also could be a risk of losing focus when tracking everything, having complex organization, not knowing what the different team is doing at the same time with the same data. So it's always a risk of kind of losing the focus and losing the path of the growth same time, driving just team-based goals and losing the big goal the organization, the company has. Then moving down right, if we have low resources and complexity, a really complex set of tracking, we are probably just putting out fires, fixing everything we have on place, and there's no time to develop or pull out some insight from the data. It's complete mess. So within this situation, I would recommend just to limit the data you're pulling or tracking, and think over again how to build analytics from scratch. What do you really need? Is it the all the sales conversions you need really to track, or is it just complete sales? What is the main conversion you need to track? What are the channels you should support or keep up within your marketing mix? And what comes to website, it's also things that just finding the metrics you need for your growth, not just getting every data you could get kind of craving more data for own insecurities, but putting the focus on the main metrics that gives you the view on your growth rate, on your ROI, and your own proficiency. And it's also best to look in the mirror whether you have all the proficiency needed, or do you need help from somewhere. Then moving up left, we have great resources, but a bit of lacking the complexity of tracking. Well, complexity is a word that coincides with the complex or probably surplus of tracking, but in this position, you're in a position to focus on that data-driven strategy, put your resources deep down on deep insights and building competitive advantage from data. But same time, if there's no real challenge on building the tracking, it could be for the team, it could be a lack of challenge. Of course, mining the data could be someone's dream job, but doing the same thing all over again could get boring for any of us. Doing, as we know, doing the same thing all over again could be really dull. So that's the thing to consider there. But all in all, it's a position where you could focus on essential and on insights, building growth in a way that scales up, gives you the path to the future. And the last one, to the low on resources and low complexity of tracking. It's of course small organizations, most small or medium-sized organizations are somewhere here. We have limited resources, limited proficiency. It's about focus on important and just make sure that you're not working on things that are too complex, and try to get more of the position of upper left to get the focus on strategy, tracking all what you need, and channels you need, and have the website analytics in place to be as competent as possible. But of course, it's also a position where you could get real alone, and a position where you have to do everything yourself. So it could be a draining place to build competitive analytics stack from one person knowledge, one generalist knowledge of everything in analytics. So for this, it's about the networking, surviving, growing your knowledge, growing the competency, proficiency, and building your analytics for a future with your own, and probably some little help from network and consultants to have that edge on your competitors in the market. So how should you build a future-proof analytics stack? It's many dimensions. There's many dimensions in this question, but as we covered these topics here, we've seen that there are certain things we have to consider to future-proof, but there are also the projections on the future that we couldn't at the moment to have a say. And one thing is that Google Analytics, whether it's a legal, legit software or not, we don't really know. And to future-proof that, it's a really hard question. But to pick something, I would say these 5 things would be the things to consider when picking up analytics tool and building your own analytics stack. So within the regulation, just like I said, it's just stay calm and keep going. But if possible, try to invest in future-proof solutions and take account the regulation now, and also think where it could get in the future. It's a hell of a job to build analytics from scratch, and moving to a tool that is not supported is not good, but neither is to move to tool that it's not compatible with software you're using within your other marketing stack. So probably the Google Analytics is as a pragmatic as I am, I would stick with it. But if you're a public organization, your analytics marketing stack doesn't need these multiple sources or to drive all the traffic possible to that analytics software. There's also possibilities. Matomo, Pivik Pro, and some others are giving more freedom and kind of lease on this regulation, and makes it possible to build an analytics software on your own servers, being cookieless, and in that way safe in privacy, considering privacy. Then there's, of course, data strategy. It all starts from strategy. What do you track? What data you need to grow? What are the questions you need to solve to scale up, to future-proof, to build your growth? It's about the data strategy and also the measuring plan to have in place. And with those, I believe that you could get the most answers for your own data future. Then there are for organization with more complex data and with more complex MarTech stack, it's Data Hub. It will help your everyday job to leverage the data sources and limitations we have with GA4. Also, this could help if you're struggling with API quotas, and having Data Hub in place could be something that helps with this, as it could pull out the data without need for a data warehouse BigQuery. And of course, the other ways, go for BigQuery if you're having Google Analytics. And then there's a team competence, and of course, it's about recognizing the key competencies within your organization. Where should you build on your analytics? What are the metrics, dimensions you should follow and track? What your organization really needs? What are the people? Do you need a machine learning specialist, or is it too overhead, or just analytics generalists who could do the basic tracking and have some help, some visualization and marketing knowledge from partner or consultant. And then the last one is the data availability. It's about this, consider especially bigger organizations. It's about making the data easily available and to support the decision making in every level, in every part and every section of every team of the organization has. And I think it should come from data strategy, kind of what data we need where, who should have it, and how we make it available easily for everyone to use it in their everyday job. This is about being data-driven and being a data-driven company that builds on the knowledge, not just the questioning what the data means. Good. This was it. Do you have any questions on these topics we had here?
Thanks a lot, Marco. Yeah, feel free to add questions in the comments, in the chat, and Marco will be able to answer them.
I guess all is clear as we don't see any questions. But all in all, this is I think it's a really complex. We're in a complex situation, and considering the regulation, we don't have a clear view on the future, and choosing the stack is about to also think the future and present same time, and it's never easy to consider so many things.
Yeah. Do you think, given how fast things, the uncertainty and how fast things are changing now, Marco, how should companies be thinking about this? Is it kind of like, is it something that they should be reevaluating regularly, like on a quarterly basis, for instance? Or how should you think about this kind of, is it a very active kind of situation that you need to monitor continuously?
Well, yeah. I think it should be actively monitored. It's of course it's depending on your brands, whether you're collecting private data, what tools are you using, how critical, for example, the use of GA is at the moment. But I think that we'll have also some overlapping period where we have time to move our analytics. If it happens so that the EU prohibits using Google Analytics in Europe, we will have some time to cover and move our analytics to some other platform. But I also think that Google has something to say to this also, that they will come up with solutions. So this is too hard on hard kind of situation where you put against the EU legislation and big tech in US-based big tech companies.
Yeah, I think in that sense, it reminds me a little bit about the iOS 14 update and the impact on Facebook or Meta advertising. And it was, painted as this nightmare scenario, and it had a big impact for sure. And it still hasn't. It changed the ecosystem for good, but there were also solutions. We knew Facebook wasn't gonna just kind of not do anything about it. So they've come up with solutions, and they're still working on solutions, workarounds. So I think that's probably gonna happen here as well. We have one question here. Which other platform/analytics tools can we rely on in the future besides Google?
Well, at the moment in Finland and also in Europe, I think the Matomo and Pivot Pro are the most prominent software we have in a sphere of kind of free to close to free tools. With Google, it's as it's free version. It's really hard to compare, but with Matomo, it's close to free, and you're paying just the hosting the data and also some extra features you need to buy for the analytics software. But in opposite, you also get with Matomo, you get the cookieless tracking that meets the regulation within EU. And there's also other question. Now that GA is deemed illegal in EU, so shall we use it for our company? Well, this is just GA. This privacy bureaus around the Europe are giving their verdicts that GA shouldn't be used. and I know that also legal advice that big public organizations give is that they shouldn't use Google anymore, but it's not illegal per se in EU. There's no legislative any directive that kind of forces you to move out from Google at the moment. So, well, yeah, it's complicated. You will have the overlapping period where you could move out from GA. I believe it will be, I believe, but if you want to future-proof your needs are met with Matomo, it could also be a competitive advantage. You have possibility to have a website without CPA, the cookie consent, CMP, cookie management, and that's also one thing to consider. But considering limited resources organization have, and considering that many organizations are really deep down interlinked with Google, I wouldn't encourage any company if there's no kind of force behind that forces your choice towards the exit from Google, at the moment at least. And what could be a data strategy for startups so that we make sure we're on the right track later when we grow? Well, this is a big question, but it's about the focus, picking the essential right tools, and consider their building tracking so that you have the only what you need, not everything you want tracked. And you could all kind of minimalist. You could there's this concept of MVA, minimum viable analytics. As start from what is the things that you really need to track, and start from there, and add more complex things in the future. You could also, of course, add and supplement your analytics tracking setup later on. But with limited resources, the minimum viable analytics would be the solutions to cover for startups, and also it will help the growth as it gives your resources to the right things. And another question: if you don't have a GA for Matomo now and need to make choice now, which one would you go for? Well, this depends so much on the organization or company you have. In a public sector or third party sector, we have most organization moving to Matomo analytics, but on the other hand, GA4 is easy to use. If you have a bit smaller website, you need to build tracking, and also considering the talent we have available to help you in the market overall. It's GA4. We have a vast experience on Google side, but for Matomo, we work also as a company for that, and if you have the privacy things you think first, it's a really good option also. But without knowing the whole scenario you're in, it's hard to say one over another at the moment.
Yeah, I think a good kind of point there is that there are maybe the kind of best technical solutions, but you also have to consider, like you said, Marco, resources and focus. Not every organization is going to have the expertise or access to the expertise to be able to implement everything. So you really have to also just think about what's actually best from a business point of view for you. And just want to stress what you also said there, that GA is not illegal now, so there's no problem, there's no issue with using GA. And if it will be banned, then there will probably be some transitionary period. So this is not necessarily something, you're not necessarily putting yourself at this massive risk. There was another comment or question from Jamie. Given the cookie consent issue and the perceived drop in users that allow performance tracking, what is the best way to maximize tracked traffic, other than making your cookie banners impossible to opt out of?
Well, it's it's probably you have to take that drop and make it in your communication so clear that you're not using the data in the wrong way, to have as many users opt in. But for those opt out users, I would consider the communication first. Joshua has also experience on this. You have take on this question.
Sorry, you mean the drop in track traffic?
Yeah.
I think, well, so when it comes to conversions and attribution measuring, I think it's very useful to collect qualitative data from customers as well. And if you go back to what you were talking about, like a maximalist versus like essential minimum analytics approach, I tend to be more in the minimal viable analytics approach, and not be focused on having to track. It would be nice if we were able to track everything, but I think that could actually open up opportunities for companies to focus more, to ask more critical questions about what data do they need, and not get into this state of like hoarding all this data, building these databases, and not really knowing what to do with it, because it can create a lot of confusion and inaction. Yeah. So I just, from someone who's not very well versed into the whole analytics landscape, that's my perspective, is try to complement some of the attribution with qualitative data, which you will be able to collect just the same, even though whatever is happening in the attribution tracking world.
Good. Thanks, Joshua.
All right, I think that's it for now. Just kind of a heads up, Mark will be presenting essentially the same presentation in Finnish in 2 weeks' time on the, what did we say, on the 13th? So if you want to join in, if you have some colleagues that you want to invite for that, feel free to do that. And like I said, the recording is going to be sent to you afterwards. It will also be uploaded to our website and YouTube channel, so you can check it out there. Do you have anything to add, Marco?
Well, no. Thank you for all participating in this session, and let's continue the discussion on LinkedIn. If you have anything popping up in your mind, considering analytics or data strategy, we are there to help, and also just the chat advice on chat will be available if you need something. So feel free to connect, and thank you for all.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. Have a great rest of the day, and hopefully we'll stay in touch.